Hi, welcome. My name is Marlene. Today we're going to take a slightly slow, kind of chill, hang out with me pace of going through my Terra Moons singles collection here. Now, the reason I want to take this slow is because I have used some of these before, but as you can see, some of these have a lot of similarities, particularly if I'm looking at them straight on, like with my bare eye. Kind of clustered them into groups. Look very similar. So maybe you're seeing these on the website and you're like, these look almost the same, what's the difference? But like when you start looking at their shifts, they are very different colors. And then some of these, like you might just look at them in the pan and be like, oh, that's this color. And then when you swatch them out, you're like, whoa, I was not expecting that. So we're going to take it kind of like a slow, chill hangout with me, and then have inspiration from astronomical things. So planets, other celestial bodies, other things that are happening up there in space. Terra Moons. I mean, obviously Terra Moons, right? It's very inspired by space. So there's a lot that I'm going to stop and look up and explain, and then I'll insert pictures. So I'm going to start with this one that was calling my name as soon as I took it out of the packaging. Yes, we're going to get straight into it now, and I will put timestamps for the particular shades if you're interested. But I want to start with this guy here because, oh my goodness. And then I'm going to show you in the lighting I have here, and I'm going to try to show you by the window. I'm not going to go straight out into the sunlight because I found that it's very difficult to capture actual colors when you're in direct sunlight, like standing directly under the sun, because most of the time I'm like squinting and I'm like I can't see, and the colors don't seem as true as what they would be. Plus, I don't think anyone's really standing straightly directly under sunlight. But we're starting with Celestial Cloudscape. This is so freaking pretty. Celestial Cloudscape is a vibrant, colorful region of space filled with glowing gas, dust, and stellar material. Here is NASA's picture of a celestial cloudscape. Do we see the inspiration there, specifically with this side right here? I'm going to put these on with no primer. So, that is beautiful. So we're going to do no primer. And then I have these lovely little cloths from Carla Cosmetics. I bought a mystery box. We'll talk more about that later. It wasn't so much of a mystery box because they kind of told me what was going to be in it beforehand. But there's a set of these 3 cloths that they included. They're exceptionally soft. And I know my eyes are going to be mad at me after this. And also the reason I wanted to apply these on the eyes is because sometimes you can swatch something on your hand or on your finger and it could look one way, and then when you put it on your eyes it just doesn't really suit you or complement you. So if you have kind of like similar skin tone to me, you'll kind of have an idea of what it looks like, and you know, maybe it's pretty in the pan but not so pretty for your particular, you know, complexion or eyes or whatever. So that's why I wanted to swatch them out on the eyelids. I'm just going to do the whole eyelid so we get a good idea. I'm kind of shear it out towards the other outer edges because this does have like a light blue base. We'll do 2 at a time and then we'll go into the sun. But that is, oh, I love that. Especially like with my hair right now. Like I just put a lot of random colors in my hair, but yeah. I think this kind of matches the vibe I got going on right now. Should bring you guys closer, huh? Zoom you in so I'm not shoving my face in there. But yeah, this is Celestial Cloudscape. I see a little bit of green in there too, huh? Which is something I wasn't picking up directly from the pan. Yeah, there's like a little bit of green in the shift, which is exactly why I like to put these on. And I do kind of start to see it in the pan now, like kind of very in the center. Where are we at? Come on. Yeah, kind of like right there in the middle. I start to see a little bit of that green. And if you're wondering the wear on these formulas are all kind of different. Some are softer and some are a little bit more on the drier side. Like this one that I'm going to swatch next, Adhara. I'm going to swatch this on this side, but this one's kind of like slightly, this one's drier, and then this one's just a little bit more emollient underneath it, but it's not the most emollient formula. This formula, the GJ504B, is like their most emollient, and this one's very hard to keep from creasing, particularly on my eyes. And this one's like moderate emollient, slightly on the drier, so I think this one would last okay without too much creasing. But that's just like a little quick blurb about the, if you're wondering about, are these gonna crease on me? So, a lot of these probably will. Okay, so Adhara. There's quite a bit going on with this guy. I don't know a lot about astronomy. I love looking at the night sky, but I don't like know all the stars. There's like a few stars I can pick out and a few planets that I can tell you like, oh, that's this planet, that's this planet. But I'm not like super like in-depth, like knowledgeable of this stuff. But Adhara is a bright binary star. And a binary star is a system of two stars that are gravitationally bound to each other and orbit around a common center of mass. Adhara specifically is in Canis Major, which is a predominant constellation in the southern sky known as the Greater Dog. And NASA didn't have a particular picture, but this is the picture that I found on a different website. This formula I didn't particularly like. Like I said, it's a little bit more on the kind of drier side. And I like how more shimmery this is. I feel like the shimmer on this is kind of a bit, well, it doesn't look too dull on camera. But the one time I used it, it wasn't shimmery as I wanted it to be. It was a little on the dull side. Adhara and Celestial Cloud Space. I'm in love with this one. I feel like I need a little bit more of this up here. Like as if I don't have to take this off right after this. But yes, let's see. Let's go to the sunlight, yeah? Okay, here is moderate, like in front of this window, the sun is not hitting directly. The sun is actually up there somewhere. But yeah, this is in front of natural lighting. Let's do these first. So we're not trying to fight for camera space here. You see how like some of these you can be like, oh, that's the same color, and then like the shift is like way different. And this is probably the brightest window I have. Sorry for the shaky hands. My hands have never been the same after I stopped working on cars. They're done. Permanent damage. Yeah, I think they're both gorgeous colors. So if you're into blue with some like black eyeliner and like some nice big lashes or like some really dark mascara, I think these will look super cute. Alright, eyelids are clean. These are super gentle, by the way. Like, they feel like a nice soft cuddly hug on the eyelids, and it wasn't too difficult to take those off. The next two on the block here are these guys. Let's do one at a time. This one is Revati. Okay, and then Revati, in terms of astronomy, Revati actually means prosperous, and it's the 27th Nakshatra lunar mansion in Indian astronomy and astrology, named after the goddess Revati. The main star is Piscium, a star in the zodiac constellation of Pisces. And it's also the Pluto's largest moon. That one, I don't really see the, like, you know, exact straight up from the picture, like, resemblance. Let's try her on. Revati. That is super pretty. The next is X-Ray. That one really doesn't look blue at some shifts, and then it looks very similar in shift at some angles to this. Actually, no, not now. Comparing it, like, this one's like super blue, but I really thought this one had like kind of that greenish. I feel like they almost looked kind of similar at that point, but this one's much darker. Right there. That kind of similarly greenish color. This one being Revati and this one being X-Ray. Yeah, but then it has like this lavender kind of lightness to it. An X-ray is a form of high energy electromagnetic radiation within a wavelength shorter than those of ultraviolet rays and longer than those of gamma rays. And then just doing a quick Google search of X-ray in the terms of astronomy, these are the types of pictures that come up. Ooh, this one is very soft. It's kind of crumbling off, but as you can see there, it's like a totally different color when you have it on. Ooh, this one's kind of grainy too. It's grainy, like I can feel the roughness, and it's not as easy to spread. And it hurts. It feels kind of sandpapery, which I had this experience when I played with them the first time, I think. Yeah, this one's kind of rough. I forgot which other one had this same texture that I didn't like. Very, very cool color. Texture-wise, applying it, not the most pleasant. It does look kind of like it's picking up a lot of the texture on my eyelid skin. I would probably apply this on top of a base shadow, but I feel like that might take away from its, like, I don't know, sheared out, this like kind of pearlescent, and then my thoughts just trailed off. Kind of this pearlescent, translucent color. Feels like it would get taken away if you put that on top of a base shadow. I can't quite make my mind up on that one. This one is gorgeous. This one I'm conflicted on, like I said, just based on the texture of that shadow and then on how it's not as a smooth application as I would like it to be. Let's go see what these look like in sunlight. And Revati is on this side and X-Ray is on this side. And this kind of has like that kind of translucenty green base just like this too. But like at certain angles it doesn't really look as blue. And again, Revati is the one on this side and then X-Ray is over here. Next, let's change up the color a little from blue. I have these two orange ones. This one's Proxima, or Proxima. Proxima. It's very difficult to choose an accent with my bilingualness, but this is Ring Nebula. Ooh, she's fiery, Proxima. Dang, so much dimension. It's like a spicy, like deep orange, almost like orange reddish, and then it's like glowing sun. And then Ring Nebula kind of looks a little bit pinkish, right? And then a little gold, a little pinky gold. And then straight on, I see a lot of green in this one too. Let's see if we can pick up the green in this, because it is very, very green leaning. And again, I apologize for my shakiness. There's like a range of motion that my hands lost after doing the work that I did. I can't get the green to come off on camera. But believe me, there's like a lot of green in this looking straight onto it. Ring Nebula, also known as Messier 57, is the glowing remains of a sun-like star. So Messier 57, more commonly known as Ring Nebula, is about 2,000 light years away in the constellation Lyra. This is a picture that NASA has for Ring Nebula. I feel like this could have been a much cooler color if a little bit more inspiration was taken from this, but I don't want to knock this yet until I have it on my eyes. I'll show you this first. Oh, she's pretty. It's like a sunset. You know what I like about these like shifty colors is that like we all have different folds and creases in our eyelids, so we're all gonna get a little bit of that different like shift in different areas, but then at times our unique folds and creases can kind of go against us and things can look a little shadowy or a little like darker in some areas that we'd rather not have that darkness. So I think it's cool that like these are gonna look very unique on you, like I said, depending on where your creases are at or where your wrinkles are at. Yeah, this one, Ring Nebula. I think it's really pretty. Still can't get that green to show up. It's a little bit right here, a little bits of green. Okay, and then let's do Proxima. Proxima, also known as Centauri B, is a super-Earth exoplanet that orbits an M-type star. Its mass is 1.07 Earths, and it takes 11.2 days to complete one orbit of its star. Proxima Centauri is the nearest star to Earth after the Sun, located 4.25 light billion years away into the southern constellation of Centaurus. Ooh. Okay. We seen this? Oh my gosh. I feel like I have literal flames, like embers, on my eyelid right now. It is sheer. It is crumbly. It's like one of those metallic eyeshadows. I'm sorry the lawnmowers are getting louder and louder outside. It's like that annoying the saxophones get louder trend. I can't stand that audio. This is so cool. Super cool. Oh my gosh. This is what I love about makeup, is that you can have all these fun textures and colors and like dimensions and everything. Like I've seen, I myself, and I've seen like other people get comments of like, oh, but you look so much better without makeup. For some of us, it's not about looking better. It's about looking and feeling fun and expressing yourself in a different way and just feeling artistic. So like I appreciate the sentiment, like, or like the sentiment behind it of saying like, oh, you look fine without makeup. But for some people, it's not about changing your appearance, your structure of your face, trying to look more beautiful or more pretty. I feel, I'm not too sure how much the percentage of people who play with makeup for aesthetics. I mean, this is still aesthetics, right? Like, I still aesthetically want to look a certain way, but it's like, it's art, it's fun, it's like crafts. It's like when you're a kid and you get to play with like watercolors or like finger paints and stuff like that. It's like that same, it evokes that same childlike curiosity and like emotion of like, I just want to play with things and it's fun. But yeah, so this one is a lot more sheer. Like, you can see through to my skin, right? And it's very flaky. So this one would go good on top of another base eyeshadow. I think you would kind of need it so that you don't have that sparsity. So again, this was Proxima, and then this was Ring Nebula. Let's go see its sunlight. Yeah, Proxima over here, she looks like molten lava or like some kind of like phoenix rising out of the ashes, right? It's gorgeous. And then this one applied, like I really underestimated it. Ring Nebula. Oh my goodness. It's too much fun. If this doesn't work, I'll include the footage from my phone because I'm also recording on my phone for like little clips for like Instagram. I don't like doing shorts because shorts for some reason get like a lot of thumbs down and like a lot of hate. So I don't know. YouTube probably shows it to the wrong people or people just don't like it. I don't know. But walking away, like that fieriness right there, like oh my goodness. Doesn't capture it as well on this camera versus the phone, but oof, right there. I guess I'll show you both eyes, like, but oof. See that in the low light? Let's just walk around, see if we can capture a little bit more of that specialness. Woo! Can you imagine? Even if you're not in direct light, these are freaking magical. Oh my gosh, do I have to show you guys in this lighting too? Because, like, look at that. That's so magical. I'm gonna see how many more I can do. We might have to do a part 2, 3, maybe even a 4 because my eyelids are starting to feel the roughage of it. And then I have a lot of sparkle that I'm like not being able to take off. Hopefully it comes off with a nice oil cleanse. This is all we've swatched so far is these guys, and then we have all this to swatch, and I have the 2 here. But I want to switch over to another color, and we're going to do Stellar Apotheosis and then Aliens Bloom. These ones I thought were a little similar because, like, you can see they both have a little bit of blue, or this one's more like a teal, right? But they're both kind of pinky purpley. Yeah, see, they kind of mirror a little bit of a similar color. Let me bring them closer. Yeah, they seemed similar to me looking at them in the palette. But they obviously have like a different blue shift. Still very, very similar. This one's Stellar Apotheosis, Aliens Bloom. Now, Aliens Bloom, I can't really tell you exactly like a definition or like what it's referring to. Neither for Stellar Apotheosis, but apotheosis is the elevation of a person to the status of God or the glorification of an ideal or concept to its absolute peak. And then stellar is of relating to stars or space. And then Aliens Bloom, couldn't really tell you where that comes from. Unless somebody knows what that's referring to, let me know. But let's do Aliens Bloom first on this side. This one's very soft. Very flaky. More on kind of like the metallic side. And yep, this one's going to be a little... I don't know if you can hear that, but like it comes apart very crumbly on the pan. I have to be kind of careful with it because it does come off in chunks. And then let's see if you can hear. Oh, sounds like sandpaper. And I put too much right there. Come on, spread out. Wow! I'm sorry, that's just like... I have no words for that. It's incredibly uncomfortable to put on. It's not as easy to spread out. This one's like I think gather my thoughts, untangle the tongue. I thought this was going to be one of those overly emollient ones where it's just like super soft and creamy and it just spreads out super easily. But this actually is not as easy to spread out, and it's very chunky, very chromy or metallic-y. You know, maybe it would be a little bit easier to spread and stuff if I had like a primer on and my eyelids weren't like abused already. But with all that being said, I think this color is beautiful. And I will totally take all of those cons to have this on. Well, they're not even cons, you know, this just kind of, let's be real, to have pigments like this, you're gonna have differences in textures, and I don't care if it's scratchy and kind of sandpapery. This is beautiful. I think this is my favorite one so far. Alright, let's do Stellar Apotheosis. I've worn this one before. This one kind of reminds me of mermaids because of like that teal color. This one's a little easier to spread out. It's a little softer. It's not as flaky. I think that noise is just my sandpapery eyelids at this point. But you can see how very similar they are, right? Like, they are in the same family. They might be sisters. I like this one better though, because it's more like lilac lavender. And then this one has a little bit more green, and I think I lean more towards like these colors versus like these colors. But this is like super epic and beautiful too. Oh, I can't. Stellar Apotheosis, Aliens Bloom. Like, you're kidding me. This is everything. This is like literally everything. Back to the windows. Stellar Apotheosis. This guy, Aliens Bloom on this side. Again, this one's Aliens Bloom. Stellar Apotheosis is this more pinkish guy. Then more turquoise. So you can see this one didn't spread out as evenly. And this one was a little bit easier to get like a more even coverage. And just to prove that like makeup like looks really good in front of like those like I don't have a ring light, but I have a mirror with like, or a vanity mirror with like little light bulbs around it. So obviously the light is going to make it look like a little better, and then I'm going to look a little bit more crazy and like unpolished here. Like you can see all my blemish marks and stuff like that. Versus like, you know, and I'm totally cool with it. And I want to show you what things look like realistically in different lightings, and then too on different cameras it's going to look way different. So hopefully this is helpful to somebody. And my camera's dying, so I think that's a sign that I should stop. which sucks because I was really trying to compare these guys because they look also very similar on certain angles. This one's Echo Pulse and this one's Eta Carinae. Probably saying that totally wrong, but yeah, see, they look kind of very like same at some points. Or is that just them reflecting on each other? But yeah, I want to compare these two. See? See what I'm saying? They look very similar at some points. And then these two as well, Milky Way and Moontide. Like they both kind of have that like green. Except like you can really tell though, like they're different, totally different textures. But yeah, I would love to compare these, especially like all four together. See if I can hold all of these at once. Yeah, so like, I mean, they look totally different, right? But like at certain angles, it's like, is that the same color? So if you would like to see if these are the same color, which obviously they're not going to be, come back. Hopefully there'll be a part 2 soon. Trying to be more consistent with posting. I do have a full-time job and I do work some 16-hour days and my schedule's all over the place and then I got a lot going on. But I do this for fun and I do this because like I like to share my love of the colors, the textures, the makeup, the art of it. And yeah, so that's why I do it. And if you're here watching and hanging around with me, thank you. I appreciate you. I know you have like 100+ thousands, maybe even millions of different makeup related creators or people here on YouTube that you can watch. And so if you're here watching, I really appreciate you. Thank you. Like I said, I know you have so many options and I'm no makeup expert by any means. I'm just a makeup lover. I just started getting into makeup like, I don't even know anymore, a year ago, and then plus the half a year here. So it's like been a little under 2 years that I've been playing with makeup and I'm having so much fun playing with it, learning about it. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not going to be able to tell you the formulas, like I might even be using things wrong. I don't know. I don't care. I'm having fun. So if you're in the same boat as me, you're learning, or you just like to look at pretty freaking colors and textures, welcome. But yeah, I hope to see you in the next video and I hope you take care. Bye.